Now, this is going to be my first commentary on this channel. So before we get into the video, please leave a like, leave any type of advice or criticism you have about this so I know how to make it better in the future. This video is for people that want to know how to win more on 2K and have fun with it and do it on their own terms. You know, a lot of times you see videos with these meta lineups, but they don't always work for everybody. One of those people that it just doesn't work for. The first important step is to play with the same people. Now, this will help you develop chemistry. Now, why is chemistry so important? It's important because when you're playing against, maybe comp or even just like casual people, when you have chemistry, there's a lot less that needs to be said, and you guys have developed together, and so you're on the same page about a lot of things. A lot of times when people play together, they can sit there and tell people how they want them to set screens, when to set screens, what side of the court, what they want them to do after they set screens. In my circumstance, I know, hey, if Hezzy has the ball, he doesn't want screens, he wants to ISO. So what can I do as a teammate to help us win off ball while he's ISOing? Maybe it's to be prepared to score when he passes to me if I'm in the corner. Maybe it's to learn how to fake somebody out off ball. There's so many different levels to it, but once you develop that chemistry, the gameplay would become so much smoother between you guys. I remember back when I first started playing with my main lineup, we were losing a lot of games, and it would just be to technical things, and we would just communicate and really kind of argue sometimes about how to be better. And ultimately it's gotten to a point that most games we play, we can just talk about other things while we play because we're on the same page and have that chemistry developed together. And it took some time. And we all wanted to win. So it took time and, growth as a team. Now, beyond that, another thing you can do is to step back and take a look at your build. Not even just your build, your teammates' builds. Really analyze them and think, is there something about this build that is lacking and that is leading to us losing more games? Now, let me give you an example. JD had a 3-level score. It was a pure green pie chart. And was he money with it? Yes. But here are some problems. The first problem being that when you're playing with a build like that, it's such a defensive liability that it becomes a hassle more than a benefit of having that teammate. When they are 6'3", minimum weight, minimum wingspan, and they're the pure green pie chart and have one defensive badge, all they can really put on is like Bronze Intimidator. What is Bronze Intimidator going to do to a two-way slashing playmaker that's taller, stronger, and faster than him? He can't guard him. Now, one thing you have to consider in this situation is, could you put the lock on him? Yes. Here's the problem. A lot of times what will happen is when you switch the lock on the point guard, he's still a defensive liability on the court. Even if, the point guard is getting locked down, guess what? The person he's now guarding is going to be able to score so easily on him. We saw this as a weakness and we're like, hey, let's try to find you a build that fits the team better, because we don't want to just lose because one of our teammates doesn't have that many defensive badges. And so now he uses his two-way slasher to run the point. Now the two-way slasher, right? He can slash, he can play make, he can shoot, he can play defense. He has max strength on it. He has a high vertical, high speed. So the beauty of this is that he went from a build that was a liability on the court to a build that now can do everything that he needs it to do. And JD was one of those people that he said he can shoot regardless of, if he only had like 9 badges. So it's like, why would you need 30 badges on a build with a 95 3-pointer if you don't even need all those? Put it to other categories. Put it to areas that you actually need help. And so that's exactly what he ended up doing. It may take a while to like find that lineup that really works for you and your team, But at the end of the day, if it's going to help you and your team more, it's going to help lead to a victory. Now, at this point, you may be wondering, what is our lineup? Well, JD would run his two-way slasher, like I said at the point. I would be on my rebounding guard, and Hezzy's on his playmaking glass. Now, this isn't our only lineup. We have such a huge variety of lineups we could bring out, but this is our favorite. And why is it our favorite? Think about it like this. All three of us can play any position on the court. Two-way slasher, rebounding guard, playmaking glass. We can all guard positions 1 through 3. We can all get ourselves open or even like run the point. When you look at just those two factors itself, it's like, wow. So when people are setting screens on, on offense and we're trying to guard that stuff, we can just switch like it's no problem because, hey, we can all guard the big man. We can all guard the guard, whatever. And then even on offense, when there's 3 builds that can all shoot, slash, and play make, it makes defense that much harder because let's say the point guard on the other team brings a 6'3" offensive threat, the blue and green pie chart, right? What's the problem with that? Well, when you have a build like JD's where it's strong, fast, and can do it on both sides of the court, it becomes a problem because the offensive threat basically is nothing to him. It becomes a baby. How's an offensive threat going to stop a hop step if he does one? How is he going to guard him when he has to play up and also play back on him? It becomes challenging. Now, apply that to 2 more people on the court. There is no help defense that goes on. Honestly, the only times that it really isn't effective is if we're missing or like we're, just screwing around, not really taking it serious. If you just think about it, that is such an effective lineup. But the reason it's so effective is because we've all managed our builds to our play styles. I know that, hey, I'm not going to be dribbling as much as Hezzy or JD. I don't need Hall of Fame playmaking badges. I'd rather have Hall of Fame shooting and defensive, so when I'm playing defense, I can for sure lock down somebody. And when I shoot the ball, I have as many badges as possible to help bail me out if I don't green it, or even just to help my make percentage go up. Now, once you have things like, play styles and builds figured out, that's when you can really start putting in more plays to put into your gameplay. For instance, me and Hezzy, right? We have this one play that is literally effective on anybody. It is effective on anyone that we've ever gone against. It's a secret. I'm not going to tell it. It's effective because we've developed it in a way that we know what we both need to do to make it work. And that comes down to chemistry. It comes down to having the builds that can support the play, because if you're on a build that can't shoot, hey, guess what? Half the plays that you can use in the game won't work because all you have to do is just make sure you don't get an easy lane. And that's not that hard. Now, I could talk about this super in depth and talk about it for a while, honestly, but the most important things to help win more games is to have chemistry with your teammates and to have a lineup that works for you guys. And it also helps to be having fun. If you're having fun, you're going to want to win more. You're going to be able to win more having fun. If you're sitting there bored, you're not going to be really into the game. You're going to be kind of like out of it. You're going to be on your phone a little bit. You're going to, your mind's not going to be in the game. You need to be able to have fun, to be able to play together, and to be on the same page. And that takes, chemistry and to have lineups that work together. Now, I have seen lineups that use builds like stretches or pure slashers and stuff. And guess what? Those work for those people. That's great, but that doesn't work for everybody. Some people, they need a lockdown build in order to play decent defense. Some people don't. Some people just need, gold intimidator and they're good. Everybody's different, but you're going to want to take notice of your strengths and weaknesses as a player. And then once you do that, you can develop a build that will support your play style. And one thing that I really want to point out is that there's 2 things you don't want to do. I see this every day. You don't want to be someone that is on a point guard build, but you aren't really a point guard. And I see people making builds that they aren't even good with. You have like a 93 pointer, 30 shooting badges, and you brick every shot. What's the point of having the build? You know, maybe you should be on a pure slasher. Maybe that's your thing. Maybe you should be on a pure lock. Maybe you shouldn't be really doing much on offense at all. You know, everybody's different, but you gotta find what works for you. That is the most important thing. And the second like extra bonus tip you could say that I want to include in here is don't run from people that you think are comp. Anytime we see comp, we play them. We'll play them at least once or twice. And if we just want to play for fun, we're not going to go back again. But you don't run from those games, because you can learn things from those games. It can help you be a better team and to really challenge you guys. But if you run from people just to, you know, save yourself from losing a game, what you're doing is missing out on an opportunity to learn, to become a better player. And you never want to miss out on those opportunities. And, you know, you may get frustrated. You have to learn from those situations. You can't just run from them, because we go in parks and people run from us all day. And it's like, all you're doing is just staying at the same amateur level you are. Even people like us that, you know, we're not sitting here staying up all day, staying on the game all day just to, you know, play. We got things to do. We got our own lives. But guess what? We don't run from nobody. We take on challenges. We work together. We grow together. And that's why we became so much better. Since I've applied all of these tips, or since my whole team has applied all these tips, my win percentage has gone up like 15%. And it's still increasing every day. If I play for like 3 hours in the park, after I look at my win percentage, it's gone up even more. It comes down to just wanting to put in the work sometimes, you know. Sometimes you're going to have to make a new build. Sometimes you're going to have to learn more combos and practice them. Sometimes you're going to have to find a jump shot that's better for you. I'm someone that I like slower jump shots. JD likes faster jump shots. We're all different. But if you apply these tips, I guarantee you your win percentage is going to go up